Dave, you're a grown man. Why are you wearing a Pokemon beanie?
You're a grown man too. You're wearing that.
Yeah, but this is...
This is better because it's Pokeball.
Oh, right. Is it better? Is it... just put on my old Umbreon hat then. How's that?
That's good for you, Ollie. You've out-Pokemoned me. Oh dear. Oh, and you got a Red Bull. Look at that.
That's right.
Look
Drinking a Red Bull.
Do you know
over
what
here?
they say about people with big Red Bulls?
Well, they...
Do you know what they say? They say normally they're better than people with small Red Bulls.
I prefer small Red Bulls.
Shut up, Ollie.
Hello, and welcome to NPCs of Wildemount here on the D20 Multiverse, reviewing Critical Role 2, Episode 42, The Vice of with myself, Oliver, Dungeon Master, and...
Taller than Ollie. I am taller than Ollie.
Yeah, so welcome along to a special episode.
I'm just taller than you. Why are you so uncomfortable by that fact?
It's because you look down at me and I feel like there's like a judgy tree of the ghost of my parents.
Look, it doesn't matter what height you are, would look down on you regardless.
Well, yeah, that's fair. So yeah, here we are reviewing another...
I thought you just took that.
Oh,
You're
sure.
like, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sorry we're late.
You've interrupted me 4 times, I lost my train of thought.
Anyway, we're late, but we are here at 42.
We're pregnant.
And we are in Darktow.
Yes.
We are exploring the pirate town. Is it city or town?
I'd say town, but I also realised that it's Darktow, as in like tow a boat, and not Darktow, like your foot's messed up, you should see a doctor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you think?
I felt like that was important information to have.
I already knew it was with a W. I never thought it was with an E.
Because I remember a kid at my school, I think it was Rebecca, hit her foot really hard, and then she could actually remove her toenail and put it back on.
Yeah, but what's that got to do with the Critical Role though? Why did you think toe when they were saying?
Well, you know, like pirate names are always like Longbeard and like Black Eyes and like Small Penis and like...
Small Penis. The town of Small Penis.
Terrifying pirate captain Small Penis.
Small Penis.
He's very secure in his eyes, his inadequacies, but he's still kind of...
enough about small penises. We are in Darktow, and we kind of discover more about how Darktow kind of operates, and we kind of journey through the town of Darktow. Avantage gives a good spiel about the kind of... I put economics of Darktow, that they have to give a little percentage to the Plant King.
Yeah, all hail the tax masters of Darktow, basically.
Plant King.
Yeah. PK, as they called them on the Reddit thread.
PK.
Which confused me for ages, because that's the type of chewing gum that we have here.
Yeah, it is actually a chewing gum in New Zealand.
I also think Plant King is probably the least intimidating name.
Yeah, you mentioned that last episode.
It's like being like, I'm the Bunny Lord! It just doesn't...
I think you need to get over this.
I'm writing a letter to Matt.
You're writing a letter. Can you please stop calling it a bad meme from 2 years ago? Is it 2 years ago now?
Planking? I don't know. 2 years. This was a while ago.
Something like that.
I will be honest, I missed like the first 20 minutes of this episode. I was doing other things, so I'll just let you...
Thanks. Thanks for telling me before we start recording that you missed it. Anyway.
I got some notes. Like Shattered Teeth. We find out about the Shattered Teeth, which is a series of islands not far from Darktow. And the way that Matt introduced it, I feel like they're probably going to end up going there at some point soon.
Yeah. So we do learn a little bit more about Avantage and her history.
Yeah.
It kind of adds a little bit more character to it, and I actually started to sympathise with Avantage until the end when we discovered more things and when things go shit.
Which pretty much every Reddit thread comment was about the last 5 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, which is very important. And we go to a pirate bar.
Well, another important thing is we find out in this like beginning scenario that Avantage has a lot of respect in Darktow, which to me kind of lends to the idea that she probably has a lot of followers and a lot of people that's going to back her up, which is
and a reputation.
Yeah.
Which is based on where everything leads in this episode. Mighty Nein are going to be in trouble.
Yeah. There's definitely ramifications closing in quickly for these people.
So we meet Horace the sniper.
Yep.
He's a bit of an assassin.
Again, not the most intimidating name for a sniper. I'm Horace.
Horace the sniper.
It's like being, I am Phil the destroyer. It just,
The Phil the guard. I miss Phil the guard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day. Just to fight some. Just has a little bit of fisticuffs, but was very nice about it.
Again, this is
very un-pirate-like, though.
It's kind of like one of these little things that Matt does quite beautifully, especially at like festivals and that kind of thing, which is allow the players to fight with aren't really ramifications. It's not a serious fight, they just get to have a bit of fun with some combat.
Yeah, the first half of this episode is really just messing around in a pirate town.
Yeah.
But we do find out a little bit of information, such as where's the next kind of, where we're going to go.
Yeah.
And what's the next plan. But instead of kind of waiting for that to be fleshed out, the Mighty Nein decide to just really break into the Avantika's stuff and figure it out that way.
I don't know how a seasoned group of D&D players that have been with a Trixie DM as long as the Mighty Nein and Critical Role's been with Matt Mercer still think it's a good idea to steal from the very respectful and powerful NPCs.
Yeah, it's like, this is a very powerful character. They have proven to be very, very powerful, and the crew, the team, the Mighty Nein or Vox Machina will go, you know what's a good idea? To steal from that very important character.
It's like going into a goblin stronghold and not checking for traps. It's just going to end badly.
Yes. But we also get Matt singing.
Oh my god! And I couldn't find the lyrics to that song anywhere.
Let's cut to a clip of that.
Where once the waters rolled calmly by, where ocean's heart did sing, they stalked a lass with a hungry eye and claws that grasp and ring. With lantern lure of a glimmer pot, with treasure in her eyes. Below they swam to the gold they thought would await them as their prize. Everyone was clamoring together with the third verse. Yet each of them went to surely die, the graves to not be found. For Dashila and her hungry eye collects the lost and drowned. And there's like a moment where they all clamor the drinks together and clink them and begin to drink there.
Yeah.
Fucking cool, you are.
It's funny because right now when we're recording this, he's dancing to absolutely nothing. And even on the video, dancing to absolutely nothing. And he didn't even see that clip that I cut to.
No,
so.
and also that was not what I would call dancing, I just caught a glimpse of it.
He told me 2 seconds before he was going to do that. I was like, no, don't do that, but I'm not going to tell you not to do that.
This is kind of how I dance. It's like, I've got worms and I can't...
The saddest thing is he's not lying. Anyway.
You've upset me, I'm going into my hood.
I always upset you.
I know, that's why I have the hood. So, essentially we find out a lot of stuff about the next part. They're going salvage mission to the north at the Diver's Grave. Now, again, this is like a little bit of like DM hint that this is not going to be easy. They want to go diving in a place called the Diver's Grave.
And Orally is concerned as well.
Yes.
And whenever the community total was concerned...
that's a bad sign.
That's a bad sign.
I'm looking at Ku Klux Klan.
But they decide to kind of... They continue exploring Darktow, and they Jester and Caleb kind of talk, and Jester kind of goes into our feelings about this Jester thing that's going on.
Now, I kind of feel like we're falling into a rhythm now with the Mighty Nein. The episodes are becoming a little bit more formulaic. We've got a bit of play, heavy RP, where the characters talk intensely to each other, combats, missions. It's becoming a kind of...
routine.
Yeah.
But for me, because I've never liked this Ford and Jester thing.
Yes.
This feels like Jester kind of getting over it.
A little bit. We hear her say things...
And I'm glad, because I don't want that relationship to occur.
Yeah. Essentially, she said something, which I could relate to vastly, which is, do you ever like really fall in love with someone and then you talk to them for a while and find out they're not how you thought, and then you're not sure if you love them or the idea of them?
Yeah.
I felt that way about Pokemon White.
Okay. Yeah. It's
So
always with Pokemon with you, isn't it? It always goes back to Pokemon.
Do you know that I bought this hoodie at the Pokemon Center in Kyoto? Yeah.
You see all the people care about? Neither do I. I can't see any of them.
I'm sad. So also we get Bo trying to lure Alison away, who's this kind of like badass pirate chick, because she thinks she can talk to her and maybe get some information about Vantika.
Yeah, Alison doesn't like Avantgarde very much. And it's not really... There's no clear information why, whether it's like a lover's spat that went south, whether they just had this kind of rival, whether they're the Gary and Ash of this world. I tied it back to Pokemon. There you go.
Now we're cooking.
But yeah, we know she doesn't like Avantgarde.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all we know.
Yeah.
So with everything that happened at the end, there could be an ally.
But I do think that Matt had something planned with Alison, and that's why he had Alison kind of wrap up the note, and it didn't go anywhere. Bo handed them a note, said, "Come meet me in the alley," and Matt just didn't do anything with it.
I don't think Matt planned it for everything.
No, I think there is something coming up with that character, and that's why because it seems like a weird thing as a DM to do, just be like, no, your actions have no consequences. Yeah.
And this is a classic case of your actions have consequences. So they develop a plan to try and steal Avantgarde's stuff, really.
So we get some wonderful Mighty Nein plan sessions.
And wonderful plans not going right session.
We also have Clay buffing Not's charisma and Jester's wisdom. When he does, I think, as a 3rd level spell slot, he can do that to 2 people and gets to pick the stat. Very, very useful spell for a variety of reasons. It's essentially like guidance, but times 5.
So Jester and Not go on the ship.
Yeah.
And they're the ones to actually steal the stuff.
Yeah.
And they kind of cause a bit of debacle of causing one of the crew to stab another.
Yeah.
Which is a very funny moment of how it happened, but kind of they weren't subtle about what they did.
Yeah. So we've got Not suggesting, and this is why Not is my MVP of the week, suggesting that they should also...
we haven't done MVP for weeks.
I know. And then I was reading old comments and people were...
I'll go with Not too.
Yeah. So Not comes up with the idea that they should be speaking in code. They should call Advantage something else, the orbs and the temples something else. And I was like, yes, that's very, very clever. You're around a whole lot of shady characters. You don't want that information getting out.
Yeah, but they all get confused, and I got a little bit confused with what was coded what at times.
Yeah, so we've got Avantika is Tiffany, the apricot is the orb, the apricot tree is the temple.
Let's start right there, because Marisha did a huge stretch to pull off the breakfast at Tiffany. It was such a long stretch to make that joke work that they could have just not done it. That just bothered me.
Hey, sometimes as a comedian, you just gotta thread those threads that do not go.
Yeah, it's just like everyone knew the breakfast at Tiffany joke was going to come up, and it was just a question of when it was happening. And when it did occur, it just didn't work.
Now we get some unbelievable stealth with the Pass Without a Trace. We've got a 34 and a 28. That made me happy as a DM, seeing rolls that high.
Bo kind of distracts as well. Bo and Caleb are off the ship. Basically, nothing really goes right, but they do get the information that they're kind of looking for. It's all cryptic and coded. Yeah. We do find out that Avantika did use Vandarin.
Yeah.
So the relationship between Vandarin and Avantika is a lot closer than was initially described.
And it kind of makes us wonder if she's keeping Ford around for the same reasons, so she can just use him to find the orbs for herself.
Because there was one thing of, I found another. Maybe I'll get more used to them than I did with Vandarin.
So it seems like her allyship with the Mighty Nein is purely for her own gain.
But it also may look like Vandarin might be on the side of good.
Yeah.
Because maybe he did everything he did because of Avantika.
So essentially, after the guy falls through the hole that Jester painted in the floor...
So it turns out they do... It is more kind of a... They become a tangible thing. I mean,
Well, being able to paint a hole in something, that gets you through any locked door, all that kind of stuff, unless it's a powerful...
Bad relationships.
Or a bad relationship, you just kind of... and then vanish, and then,
Yeah, that's your problem solved.
Yeah, just all we need now is magical paint. Easy.
If you got any magical paint, leave a comment down below and let me know.
Yeah.
If only.
I just remembered something about an ad for Intel with Jim Parsons on it, but then I couldn't remember enough to be able to turn it into a sentence that was relevant.
Cool story, bro. Anyway.
Yeah. So basically, this guy, they try and frame him at this point.
So they're going to send all the information to the Plant King.
Yeah.
To kind of dob in Avantika, but give them enough time to get away as well. So what the plan was to send them one page of deciphered information.
Yeah.
And from there, they were going to basically give them a kind of a guide to decrypt everything else.
A key, basically.
A key.
This is how the cipher works.
Cipher,
Yeah, but then the party was like, well, do we give them the whole book? Because it talks about us. It talks about Ford, not like with his name, but enough that they'd be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
So do we hand this over? And then they're like, well, we could use mending and stuff to kind of erase some of the words or something like that.
Yeah. So, but it also doesn't. They're going under a huge assumption that the Plant King is going to be upset about what Avantika is doing.
Yeah,
but to be honest, you don't know enough about the Plant King to know whether he'll be on the side of Avantika.
And who knows? He might kind of say, "Well, I don't like people that flip on a dime with their loyalties."
Yeah, and that was the huge dilemma there.
Yeah. So essentially, they use Caleb's keen mind and very, very high deciphering rolls, nat 20, which was like a 25, I think. Yeah, 25. It's always terrifying when you go nat 20 and the DM says, yeah, but what's the total? So he actually hit the DC, which is 25,
Spot
which is
on,
the second highest that the DMG recommends as a thing to set. He says you won't be able to sleep, and you won't get your spells back, and you'll get a point of exhaustion. And Caleb goes, yeah, that's fine. And I was kind of like, at that point, I was like, hang on. He made a real clear point about spell slots and exhaustion.
Yeah.
there's combat coming.
Yeah, there was something that was coming up, and I think Matt had already planned the consequences of them getting on the ship.
He might have done this like
sneaking on the ship.
Yeah, like early on in the session, or he might have done this a couple of sessions ago. But I think for a while he's had this as kind of like an option that he can pull out of his.
I think he would have thought, if the team ever portrays Avantika,
yeah,
this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
and I think this is the moment. So basically, the next day they have a rest, except for Caleb, because Caleb has been doing
up
everything.
all night deciphering things.
Yeah, and they're summoned to the ship. So all the crew gets knocked on by, what was it, Boulder Gut?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So saying
the orc,
the ogre. It was ogre.
Oh, okay.
He's an ogre.
Right.
She's an ogre. Sorry.
Yes.
Summoned to the ship, and basically everyone, the guards and everyone that was impacted by the team sneaking on the ship and doing what they did, gets informed about, because one thing we didn't mention, Ford was distracting Avantika. So Ford was having a night with Avantika. So that's what Ford was doing.
That's my sexy dance, by the way.
God, don't dance, man. You know that saying, white boys shouldn't dance. Pretty, yeah. You're
that's my
don't
dude.
Bus driver. Don't whatever. So after all this, Avantika summons them, and the guards kind of explain what happened.
Yeah.
So Mr. Clay gets props for helping out and healing someone that got accidentally stabbed. So you think it's kind of going in their favour.
Yep.
But
that's when Caleb kind of goes, shit, this is going badly.
Oh no, something happens first.
All right.
Do you remember? No. Okay. So Avantika. Oh, there was one. I can't. I think it's the quartermaster who was the quartermaster before Ford came along. Vera. That has the ability, it seems like the ability to kind of work things out and work out if people's lying or
detect
the
thoughts.
past. You kind of detect thoughts.
Yeah.
And it starts to do a spell and kind of hints at the fact they've worked out what's happened. And then before anything happens, Caleb does a firewall.
Yeah. So,
and blocks the two sides off.
So Wall of Fire, very powerful, I think 3rd level or 4th level spell. Wait, level 7, so possibly 3rd level.
I put Vera.
Vera.
Yeah.
So the whole ship goes up in flame. Now this does a ton of damage. It stays there for the duration. Concentration spell.
And it's on a boat.
And it's on a boat made of wood. So essentially, Caleb has very literally drawn a line in the sand. That line is made of fire. And that's where the episode ends, basically.
Yes.
Now, we're in a situation, we've got the Mighty Nein away from home, no real allies nearby, fighting Avantika, who has a horde of allies in this place and many resources. There's been a lot of conversation online about if Avantika and Vera have even 1 or 2 counter spells, this could easily be a TPK. Once one of the Mighty Nein, as they've only got a few high-level spell slots, fails to do something, they're down to 1st and 2nd level spells. With the number of people they're against, it's very unlikely they're going to get very far.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, because the crew is obviously on Avantika's side, because Matt makes a clear point that the crew doesn't quite trust them yet.
Yeah.
For good reason, obviously,
and
at this point.
Right at the start of the episode, we found out how much respect Avantika gets in this place.
So the only ally we have, what will Orally do?
Well, he's a turtle and he's kind of old. I don't know if he can do anything.
I don't know if he can do anything, and what's going to happen with the crew that the Mighty Nein came with that kind of are stuck in this town now? Are they now suddenly enemies as well?
Also, what happens if even one of these crew members survives the encounter and runs to the plank keen and says, these newcomers attacked Avantika and killed a bunch of the crew, they're going to be hunted down.
We could lose Orally.
Yeah.
The turtle. I'm more concerned about Orally.
Do this to me, Matt Mercer, if Orally dies.
I'm concerned about Orally, and how are they going to get out of town? I mean, we do have, what was her name? What was it? That lady that doesn't like Avantika very much?
Alison.
Alison. So we do have Alison.
Yeah.
Alison could be a scapegoat.
Yeah.
But to be honest, Alison's really the only ally we possibly have in this entire town. They're not going to easily get out.
Tricky situation. I think it might come down to distraction, run, and try.
If they run away and get out without taking their crew with you, the crew's probably dead.
Also, we already know that Avantika is a spellcaster. She's, seeking more spells from these temples and orbs. She's probably got quite a few tricks up her sleeve at this point. So a lot of Reddit is like, TPK, man, next episode.
God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let us know down below, because next week we actually have a week off.
Yeah, because
so we've got plenty of time to theorize. Think about what's going to happen, and hopefully Orally doesn't die. If Orally doesn't die, if they do get a TKP, I want Orly to appear in campaign 3.
Sure. Well, see,
That'd be
I kind of did have the feeling that in the last couple of sessions that Critical Role 2 is going to be a short campaign that ends in a blaze of fire in Critical Role 3. But I'd like to just...
Do you think it's going to be a short campaign because they're all going to die?
Yeah.
Or whether they're actually going to finish the story?
I don't know. At this point, it seems more likely to...
They seem to mess up more times than they should.
I'd like to just point out our crazy Reddit theory of the week from Rowan's Jet, who says, a funny thought. What about this? Jester dimension doors Caleb down to the hole. This is when they were like figuring out what to do here. So Jester dimension doors Caleb down to the hold. The rest of the team runs and distracts for a moment, gets their crew off the boat. Caleb starts casting Learman's tiny hut. Caleb sticks out just enough to fireball and then ducks back in, Fluffernutter. And I was like, okay, that's a tactic.
Fluffernutter. I'm hating the Fluffernutter. Don't know why. It's just one of those things, you know, when you hear something and you're just like, I really don't...
Like Make America Great Again?
Can we not get political? Can we just have one show on this channel where we don't get all political on it?
The world is political, Dad.
Oh, shut up. Anyway, we're going to move on from that crazy Reddit theory. We're going to move on to the comment. We did get a lot of comments, so make sure you comment down below.
We have nothing else going on in our lives.
We need more stuff to talk about because we're not really good at this show and editing. So your comments make the show. Anyway, this is from Des Talks About Stuff. Hey Des.
Hey Des, you're awesome.
Says happy late birthday. Thank you.
Yep.
You know who didn't say happy birthday on my birthday? Ollie.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
If you recall the episode where I gave you the toy...
That was because you came back from Japan.
Yeah, but it was a preemptive birthday present.
You never said anything like that, and it was weeks before my birthday.
It was implied.
Anyway, this is from Des. Happy late birthday. My life's been busy right now, so I haven't had time to watch the last 2 episodes fully, but I'm still watching you guys' stuff because you deserve the support.
Oh, thanks,
now,
guys. Don't
feel bad if you can't watch the episodes or join along with us. We do this because we find it's a fun little project.
Yeah.
So the more you guys are involved, the better we try and become in the content for this channel. So don't ever feel obligated or anything like that. You guys just watching this even for a slight minute. We appreciate it.
And Des,
so, never need to apologise.
You're one of our favourite people out there on the cybersphere. We really like what you do with your channel, and it's just cool to have you along when you can.
And the other one was very long. The other comment, and then
maybe on the podcast.
And then there was Bill, who was just trying to steal Julia. So.
So that is NPCs of Wildemount this week. Like we say, Thanksgiving next week over there in America. So
not here. We don't have Thanksgiving because we didn't have any Native Americans or
it was only the whole Treaty of Waitangi that totally fucked.
Yeah, but that's in February. That's in February. It's not in November. We don't really have a Thanksgiving.
We got nothing on in November. The whole of New Zealand just sits around and goes. So how about that game of rugby 4 years ago? Did pretty well.
Bloody French.
Anyway, that's us.
So next week, because the Critical Role is going to take a day off, we are going to do a catch-up episode of NPCs of Tal'Dorei.
So we'll be watching one of the old school episodes of Vox Machina's campaign, and then coming back and doing this. But
so if you want to join, I believe it's episode 12 or episode 13, something like that. I would recommend you watch it so you can join along with us.
Yeah.
We are still planning more content for the channel. I know we said that last week. We're just got lives and it just gets in the way, and we'll get it right. Once we get it right, you'll have a lot of content.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen.
Yeah. Hey, comforting thought, in an alternate universe, we've already done it, and it's doing really well. Of course, also along that line of logic, in an alternate universe, I'm taller than you, so,
I don't know why that was necessary.
Anyway, thank you very much for coming along on this episode of NPCs of Wildemount.
Why did I do this channel with you?
We hope. I broke Dave. Alright, it's been a successful episode in that case. Go and enjoy your lives.
I'm shaving too.
Wherever I'm sure that was...
I'm going to shave this off. This is the last thing I'm going to see the beard.
So, prepare for Dave to get 10 years younger, basically. Thanks very much for watching. We hope you have a good evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world, and fuck off.
Wow.
I think I'm keeping it.
So you're moulding it?
The two, yeah.
You like go from really nice, like good guy, bad cop in one sentence.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
It's when the police force is running low on money, so they have to have one guy do the bad cop, good cop thing. We love you, now fuck off.
Yeah, it's like, tell us where the money is, please.
Yeah, exactly. Poof, and a cake.
Yeah. Bye.
Go away.
There we go.
It ends with shut up, Ollie. That's good.
Shut up, Ollie.
Shut up. It fits with our theme of last week. Shut up, Ollie. Fuck off.
you reached the point of breaking down.
Yeah.
Oh, my notes.
My hearing.
I should actually have my notes.
Yes, you should.